Good morning. Welcome to the Rise and Pryne Show. This is our second season and our second program, and I have Director Pickens and Director Koo with me this morning. Very excited about having both of these gentlemen here. And I'm going to start with Director Koo. If you could immediately gain one new skill, what would that skill be and why?
That's a good one. I thought about this, and it would be to learn another language. And the one that I don't know, that I'm embarrassed I don't know, because it's ridiculous in modern society, is Spanish. So Spanish would be top on my list. Mandarin Chinese is up there. Arabic is up there. Just to be able to connect in a linguistic way with people across the world in vastly different cultures. Well,
and learning a new language, I think, expands our brains as well. I don't know, people that speak, and a lot of students that come to us from foreign countries speak a number of languages. Yeah. We had a foreign exchange student from Germany one time, and I'll never forget her jumping up one morning and said, "I dreamt in English." And so we understood that when you start dreaming in English or dreaming in a second language, that you've acquired that language. So
nice.
Good luck.
Nice. Oh, thank you.
All right, Director Pickens, if you could immediately gain one new skill, what would that skill be and why?
Well, I like Director Koo. I've always envied those that are bilingual, and that's certainly a great skill. But I mean, wow! I think it's amazing to be able to speak multiple languages. I took a few years of Japanese in high school, and did the fraction that I knew about it, and even the fraction that I know now, which is of course even less than in high school. It's definitely a steep climb. But I think the skill that I'd be most interested in building would be snowboarding. Actually,
really?
Yeah, So you may not know this about me, but I'm somewhat of an active skateboarder.
I did not know. Yeah. I would have never guessed that.
I did not know that either.
So I have, but not like you would think. You won't see me doing jumps and tricks and ollies and those type of things. I have an electric skateboard that I cruise around in, which is amazing. I love it, and I'm very interested to see if my balancing skills, if you will, would cross over to a snow environment. Being where you live so close to an environment where I could try that out. I think that's the next plan for me for developing a new skill anyway.
Wow. Yeah. So Hurricane Ridge isn't too far away. You could practice. They have hills there.
Yeah, it's beautiful up there. I love it. So yeah, I've mastered tubing. I can do that quite well, because that's, just hang on and hope for the best. But yeah, I want to kind of step it up a little bit. So I think that would be fun.
Oh, that will be fun. Yeah. And we have all kinds of, not too far from here, ski areas. So Good luck.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So I'm going back to you, Director Pickens. What are 3 words that best describe your leadership style on the Sequim School District Board?
Yeah, that's good. I feel, and when you say leadership styles, I of course think, in multiple roles that I serve, sometimes those leadership styles can differ depending on the role, of course. But in my role as a school board director, I would say the 3 things that really stand out would be a collaborative nature, being a great listener, and goal-oriented. In general, the goal-oriented is 2 words technically, but
that's okay.
But I think you'll forget. Yeah, but those are the 3 things that come to mind right away. Yeah.
Well, good. Well, thank you. And goal-oriented, we can put a hyphen in there, so
sure.
It's really just
that
one
works.
word. So, Director Koo, what are 3 words that best describe your leadership style on the Sequim School District Board?
Oh, gosh. I don't know if there's 3 that best describe, but the ones that come to mind are direct, engaged, and hopefully accountable, which is, really important to a lot of people, good and bad. So I'd like to believe that's how folks perceive me, and certainly how I perceive myself. One example is early on, before we were pushed into technology, I thought we should record our school board meetings, and I got some pushback from my colleagues, because they're like, "Oh, it's going to be recorded. Your words will always be out there." And now here we are.
Yeah.
And I've always liked that, in terms of accessibility for families who aren't able to attend a meeting. I preface by saying, I'm human. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to misspeak. I'm going to be on the wrong side of an issue and then later change my mind. But I still, I like the idea of, being directly accountable like that, just at a local level.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you. So what that brings to mind is, I don't know if you've read any of Brene Brown's work, but one of the things she said is, unless you're in the arena, you don't have any right to criticize. So I would say both of these men and the other 3 board members are in the arena. So thank you. And Director Pickens, why did you run for the Sequim School Board, and what do you like most about being on the Sequim School Board?
Well, being a teacher, I'm obviously invested in public education, and as I really started to think about how I wanted to branch out, one of the things that obviously is important to me is just the impact that it has in my local community. And I've been an advocate on multiple levels, whether it be federally or state level or my school district where I work at in Port Angeles. But I realized that on a local level, of course, I care about what's happening here locally. I care about the students in my community. I care about my own kids that attend Sequim School District. So I wanted to extend my advocacy to, and when I say extend, actually that sounds a little odd because it seems like you're branching out, but it's really I was looking in. Wait, what about what's going on right here in my own community, and wanting to use my knowledge and skills to really have a positive impact on the local community, local schools here. And I'd say that also answers the second part of your question about what I like best about it is that level of involvement is what I thrive on. I've always been in a position where I want to serve and give back, and this enables me to do so on a local level.
So on a follow-up question to that. So was it different sitting on the other side of the board table versus being in the audience of a board meeting?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And speaking to kind of Director Koo had referenced regarding, meetings being recorded and those that accountability. I can't help but agree wholeheartedly. I think that, being at that side of the table and being on record with those things, and I'm human as well, so sure, I'll go on record and I'll say something, but if a member of the community wants to come and have a conversation with me about something that I stated, absolutely, I would welcome that. And we're all learning, and I'm going to learn by being a good listener and listen to different perspectives of those in the community. So that's to me, I think one of the best spots, or one of the items that I love about this role is just being able to listen to different perspectives as well. So
I have the same question for you, except I have a little add-on for you. So okay. Why did you run for the Squim School Board? What do you like most about it, about being on the Squim School Board? And what will you miss when your term ends in December? And we're sorry to see you go, by the way.
Oh, thank you. So similar thoughts leading up to it that Eric just shared as far as wanting to use the term stick my oar in the water, wanting to have a hopefully favorable impact in the local community. I think you'll all appreciate this. It was also a visceral response after the 2016 election, because frankly, I was aghast at the schism in our country, and just the divide and the seeming polar ends of that divide really had me concerned. And so that was easily the final tipping point as far as wanting to, do something locally. But similar thing, I have, I often joke about my 3 little FTEs in the system. And so I definitely felt that beyond paying my taxes, I wanted to do more and give back to the district that has been so beneficial to my family. So there's that direct part as well. Same breath, yeah. What I enjoy about it is feeling like I'm in a position to influence things that I think are positive and good, wherever they may be. And it's not easy because there's a lot. I mean, I'm not going to cry on your shoulder, Jane, because you're leading the circus in terms of running a district and all the components therein. Certainly, on a school board, there's a lot you have to become familiar with very quickly. And so it's a humbling task in that regard. What I'll miss about it is, I think, just being at the table in the way you are as a school board member. That said, I'm definitely looking forward to what I consider a break. I told folks I'm keeping my signs just in case, because I've really enjoyed this experience. The good, the bad, and the less good. And it's something I could easily envision doing again if the voters so chose. But for now, I'm looking forward to taking a breather and seeing what the new talent coming to the table is able to do, and really, take a difficult task on. I don't think there's any period in a school district where the role is not difficult. And so, I'm looking forward to seeing what the next iteration of the board can do. But I'll definitely miss being at that table and feeling like having a hand on the levers.
Thank you. And our final question, what do you hope to accomplish, Director Pickens, for the students of Squim for the 21-22 school year?
Yeah, that's obviously been on my mind quite a bit lately. And it really boils down to, based on what we're experiencing, is keeping our students in school, hopefully for the full year, 5 days a week, getting very specific. But last year was a tough year for families, for educators, for students. It's so many different levels, and I know that it will be a challenging year without a doubt. But if we can band together, work together as a community, keep things as safe as possible, work with our educators, provide them the level of safety they need, provide the students with the level of safety we need, prevent outbreaks in our community to whatever extent possible, to keep some sense of normalcy in the school year. I think that by and large is going to be my biggest priority. Obviously, on my mind with that as well as the important role of a new superintendent, which we're going to be working on throughout the year, and that obviously has an impact to the students. But I think that in conjunction with just having our students back in school. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, it will be. We're still planning full steam ahead, 5 days a week. We have not changed that, even though we had a discussion with Dr. Berry yesterday. That is also her mantra. Students will be back in school 5 days a week. There will be some boundaries, as we know, but golly, I'm excited. Yeah. So hopefully we can get those numbers down, because they're trajectoring
yeah.
in a way that is going up instead of down, and that's a bit concerning. Actually, a lot concerning.
Yep.
So, Director Koo, you have basically 6 months left on the board. What legacy do you hope to leave?
Thank you. That's a great question. It's also apropos of, a midlife crisis. What's my legacy that I want to leave? I think the biggest part is just the sense of service and the sense of engagement in our local government, or government in general. It's accessible, I believe, to anyone and everyone who has a desire to want to serve in some capacity. You obviously have to get through the grinder of an election. But other than that, just encouraging people to find a way to serve. For some individuals, they're able to do that through, church or sports or, sort of things. But, running for a local office, it's not always glamorous. Although, we do have our own seats in the auditorium, which is kind of cool. Not the auditorium, in the gym. My wife found those. Apparently, there's reserved seats for school board members, so there are perks.
There's that.
Anyway, but no, just a sense of serving, giving back. I mean, it's what makes this country so great. And so that would be, if anything, is, if a bonehead like me can do it, so can you.
Well, thank you. And I just want to say that being on the school board at times is very thankless. And so our 5 school board members and the 2 sitting here with me today have spent countless volunteer hours because it is a huge job, and it is a thankless job some of the time, and it is a non-paying job basically. So anyway, I just want to say thank you for being on the podcast this morning, and I'm excited to start the new school year with both of you and the other 3 board members. And so on that note, have a great weekend, Squim, and we'll be back here next Friday.
We invite you to the 9th Annual Back to School Fair on Saturday, August 28th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. For more information, please visit squimschools.org. And thanks so much for joining us today, and have a fantastic Friday, Squim!